Yo, what's the deal? Hey, you can read the title and see what I'm on. You know what I mean? Since I have been uploading my content and I have been addressing the hidden truth of Southern California in regards to interminority racism, a lot of people has taken offense to my content. Some people saying I'm clout chasing. Some people even accuse me of just putting up any type of content for likes and things of that nature. But anybody that's been following me, you know that when I come on this thing, I don't say smash the like button. I don't say hit the subscribe button. I don't do none of that. If you like the content and you decide to subscribe, I appreciate that. But I'm not going to prompt you. I'm not going to implore. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe, because for me, this isn't entertainment. This is seizing the opportunity to tell my truths as a melanated, carbonated individual from Southern California who have dealt with inner minority racism. You know, race riots against Southern Hispanics. The Sureños, right? So what I want to get into with y'all is the origin of it. What does it originate from in the barrios that's located in Los Angeles County? What does this racial element amongst Southern Hispanics and blacks come from? Bear with me. Let's get into this. But before I jump into that, I just want to share some of the comments. And I got an abundance of emails. I put my email address on here. So, I've been getting a lot of racial comments from people pretending, or people who are, Sureños, death threats, all this old weirdo shit. But I ain't worried about all that. But look, check out this comment. This is from Fitness Loke Stern APB, and this is what Cuz say. We're not trying to be y'all. Don't classify us, and watch your tone on Southside Linwood. Keep that energy if I see you in Plaza Mexico. If you see me, I'm going to just read my response. This is my response to him. Bro, I pray I never see you, big dog, because the malicious intent that you have in your heart will only take one of us from our family. So we can agree or disagree. See, this is the thing, man. People have these superiority. Hold on 1 minute. Let me go get my charger. I don't want my computer to die. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me plug this up. All right, I'm back. So, what's going on in Southern California is now becoming a common thing that a lot of individuals who are oblivious to the inter-minority racism that takes place in Southern California is now becoming conscious to. I want to read one more comment to y'all before we get to the nitty gritty, and we can actually research and see where the inter-minority racism come from on the surface. All right, where's this comment? All right, this comment is from, I don't know if these individuals want to be named, and I don't want to create no unnecessary conflict or whatnot, but if you go on some of my videos, you can see the comments, right? So this individual right here, this is what this individual say. I'm Puerto Rican from the East Coast, but what I want to say is, because I'm Latino, I follow a lot of the Chicano channels. I also read the comments. I have noticed that their behavior towards Black Americans is condescending. it is like they deem you guys inferior. I have also noticed is there is no respect from them towards you, but they demand you to respect them out west. And to be fair, the African American channels hardly ever speak on Chicanos. It's like you guys do show them respect, but that same respect is not reciprocated. They feel they can speak on you all and your culture, your politics, etc. But as soon as you all speak on them, they cry racism, tell you to stay out of their politics, ask why are African Americans always worried about them, when in fact it seems to be the other way around. But I just wanted to put in my 2 cents just so you know, those of us from other Latin communities also outside, those of us from other Latin communities outside of Mexican can see exactly what's going on out there in Los Angeles with the Mexican community. You guys are not just talking, but speaking truth and actual facts. All right, let me close this out. And forgive me because I'm just now getting into this vlogging and so on and so forth. So I don't have, certain apps to where I can show the video and I still be right there. Hey, I got a question, Pimp. Mike Jones, ask me anything, Kim, folks. What's up? Let me know before I jump into this content. Put your question right there. Okay. What up, bro? Love from Texas. Hey. Much love to my folks in Texas, man. My folks migrated from Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas and moved out west to watch. You know what I mean? But my people come from Indian reservations out there in Oklahoma. Then they moved to Texas. From Texas, they went to Arkansas. Then they kind of like got settled down out there in Watts. So part of my heritage is out there in Texas. My grandpops was from I believe Lubbock, Texas. Yeah, my grandfather, my paternal grandfather was from Lubbock, Texas. So, Watts and Texas, Watts have a history with Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and, those southern states, you know what I mean? My folks from Watts, you know what I mean? So y'all got folks in Watts, man, and we send our love out there to y'all. Bobby A, the truth, man. I'm just a brother just doing his part, you know what I mean? So we going to get into this. We going to get into the origin of the interminority racism. So what I'm gonna have to do is spin my camera around so that y'all can see my screen, and let's get into it. We didn't initiate this war between us and our Hispanic brothers. You know what I mean? We didn't initiate this. Envy and greed played a major part in them developing. I can't even say developing because the animosity and the hatred has already been there for those of you who know the history and who has did any research in regards to it. But it manifested, here. This is what put it out there, you know what I mean? So let's get into it. Let me swing this camera around, man. Let me see. Would it let me swing? Yeah, it'll let me swing it around. So let's get into this right here. The origin of it.
Believe is racial tension partly induced by the Mexican Mafia has also filtered into Southern California high schools, and clearly it starts inside
Let me run it back.
walls. Racial tension partly induced by the Mexican Mafia has also filtered into Southern California high schools, and clearly.
Hold on, my internet tripping. Hold on 1 minute. All right, I got y'all. See, like I said in my other video, they indoctrination start early. So racial tension was created by their big homies inside of the prisons. Okay, the indoctrination start early in regards to them disliking, hating, and developing animosity towards blacks. So racial tension started in the California prisons, right? They gave word to the youngsters in junior high schools as well as high schools to start taking off on blacks to create animosity with blacks. They indoctrination to hate blacks start early. We don't indoctrinate our youth to dislike Hispanics. You know what I mean? We just don't do that. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between us. You have a young black that's in prison, and older cats will be like, youngster, get out there, get you a trade. You know what I mean? Stay out of prison, man. Get out there, listen to your mama. You're going to have to mind somebody. This is the information that we share to our youth who find themselves in gangs and in and out of prison, juvenile correctional institutions and whatnot. We try to steer them right. They incentivize their young homies or their youth. They incentivize them for coming to prison, these different correctional institutions, and leveling up by attacking blacks, targeting blacks, killing blacks. They incentivize their youth. So it's almost like if their youth is hopeless, their youth aspire to go to prison, join a prison gang, and level up in rank. You know what I mean? That it's just it's heartbreaking. So let's get into this, the origin of it.
Believe is racial tension partly induced by the Mexican Mafia has also filtered into Southern California high schools, and clearly it starts inside prison walls. Here in maximum security at Chino Penitentiary, notorious prison gang members are housed separately. The Mexican Mafia, also called La M in one area, the Black Guerrilla Family prison gang in another. Here there is constant racial tension. Tension that often erupts here in the LA County jail system. Latino inmates tell Fox News the word to fight often comes down from the Mexican Mafia, a group authorities say controls most of the drug traffic behind bars.
They want to make it a racial thing, you know what I mean? It's like the M is the raza, you know? We control all inside jail, you know? That's what the M is all about. That's what they came out and say, you know? We have riots with the blacks.
Jail officials say these tensions have heightened since the LA riots, and the Mexican Mafia, using the race issue to show its muscle in the prison system, has even ordered a hit on Crip gangster Damien Football.
All right, we gonna go past that one, right? We gonna go here in Ford.
He's getting all the center attention. You know, he's dissing us. Why not?
And this ex-gang member who has spent several years trying to get kids out of gang life says the Mexican Mafia for months now has been fanning the flames of racial tension on the streets. At a series of meetings like this one, spreading through 4 LA area counties, La M operatives have ordered a Latino gang truce, but have also encouraged attacks on black gangs.
The M said we're going to create a racial war.
This same source, who wants his identity concealed out of fear the MA would kill him for talking, says the Mafia master plan is to control drug profits on the street as well as in jail.
Bottom line, how much money they can make, what they can control.
At the same time, Latino and black gangs have been facing off in a growing pattern of racial unrest at area high schools, other non-gang members often joining in. That was the case today as the latest such disturbance broke out at Paramount High School. And law enforcement intelligence obtained by Fox News talks about the MA influence at these recent gang meetings possibly being linked to racially motivated gang clashes at schools in Compton, Inglewood, Culver City, Santa Monica, Venice, Pomona, Ontario, and the Inland Empire. Compton school.
All right, let's go to the next video. We getting down to the origin. They can deny it all they want, but this is documented facts.
The street gangs to, one, don't do any drive-by shooting because too many kids were getting
Let me
killed.
run it back just a little
And
bit.
two, they wanted to take up, well, it did. Mexican Mafia, who we all know is a prison gang, right? They put out an edict to the street gangs to, one, don't do any drive-by shooting because too many kids were getting killed. And two, they wanted to take over the drug trade and kick the blacks out of the neighborhood. Well, I shake my head because that has got to be one of the dumbest orders I've ever heard in my life. Because if you know the Crips and Bloods in Compton like Reggie and I knew them, you think that they were just going to say, I'm going to hand you over my territory? Oh, sure, we'll leave. You can have all our money in our territory. We're just going to leave. See you later, right? You know that wasn't going to happen. So we start having a war right here with the ATFs and the CD70s. They start fighting with each other, and you got to remember, these guys, they grew up together, they lived in the same neighborhoods, they went to the same schools, they grew up with each other. Now, they're fighting each other in the same neighborhoods, shooting and killing each other, right? we start having, it almost turned into a race war. We start getting graffiti on the walls. Not only were they fighting and shooting at each other, the graffiti on the walls, we drive around, we go into the Mexican streets, the CD70 territory. We go into the black streets, and they'd say, fuck tacos. So it really turned into a race war. So on this particular day, it was June of 1994, there was two Veterano CD70. Their name was Boxer and Bull. Now these guys been around a long time. They were veteranos. They were definitely the shot callers within the CD70 gangs, right? So in this particular, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. They were driving around. I remember they had a red, I think it was convertible Impala. I'm not positive, that don't really matter, but it was a red Impala. And they were cruising around, and they came over to this street right here. They used to have mailboxes right down here. So they pulled up alongside the mailbox because they were going to drop some letters off to the homies in prison, right? Little did they know they were being followed by some ATF gang members, mostly consistent of Acacia Block Crips. It was a van, and there was 4 of them in there. There. 2 of them were armed, one with an AK-47, and the other one with a 9mm of some sort. Well, unbeknown to Boxer and Bull, they're just talking, shooting the shit. Van pulls up behind them, and one of the guys gets out of point-blank range with the assault rifle and just unleashes fury on him. Just empties the clip, while the other guy, he's shooting out of the car at these guys, right? So they empty their clips into these poor guys at point-blank range. And it was just a bloody mess. The van takes off, police officers get to the scene, and these guys were just riddled with bullets. The interior of the car was covered in blood. Brain matter was on the windshield, and parts of the skull was in the street. I mean, it was just a bloody, bloody scene, right? Boxer and Bull are murdered. The van gets
Come out of prison.
absolutely. You think that the Mexican Mafia is just a prison gang, but they have so much power here out in the streets because if you live the gang mentality, what is it? You're either going to die or you're going to go to prison. So if you don't do what they say and you end up going to jail or to prison, that's where they're going to deal with you. So they have a tremendous amount of power here out in the streets that people don't realize.
What I found so interesting, and Bobby talked about it earlier, was the fact that this group we talking about that did this gruesome murder and stuff, they used to, on Johnson Street, the Mexican would sell a heroin on one side of the street in front of some apartment, and literally across the street on the other side would be the blacks selling cocaine, rocks, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, they were friends. They were even had girlfriends that were black, and all kind of interaction. They were like that. But that edict was so strong that they couldn't not comply with it, because if they got arrested and went to prison, they'd be dealt with if they didn't. So that's what turned it into get as bad as it is till today.
Because I remember when I was working the streets of Compton, that.
All right, let's go to this next one.
Authorities charged this was a gang turf war that spilled over into racially motivated shootings. Today, 61 members of the Florencia 13 gang from southern Los Angeles County face federal organized crime charges that allege that some members of this Latino gang shot and killed African Americans, some of them criminals, but some not, in order to monopolize the illegal drug trade. A table full of guns confiscated from alleged gang members went on display today as federal and local officials announced what they hope will be a devastating blow to a long-entrenched street gang. 2 indictments accuse 61 members of the Florencia 13 gang of southeast Los Angeles County with racketeering and drug dealing, allegedly backed up with intimidation and murder, including attacks by the Latino gang members on black rivals in the illegal drug trade.
The most disturbing aspect of the case is that in working to eradicate rival gangs from their territory, Florencia gang members allegedly engaged in a series of attacks on rival African-American gangs that extended to innocent citizens who ended up being shot simply because of the color of their skin.
Need I say more? But hold on. This one, man, he takes a minute to get going. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna come right here and listen to what this brother say.
I take you to certain parts of Compton and watch in LA that blacks can't go in because they writing killer on the wall. Yeah.
Well, we never had that problem in Watts. In Watts, our numbers are still strong. We still strong. PJ, Bunny on his Great Street, Haciendas, Fudge Towns, and all that. So the Sureños don't introduce that racial element to Watts because in Watts we're still strong with the four projects and sets like Fudge Towns. The Fudge Towns are still strong in they hood, and a couple of other sets and whatnot. So that's not true. In Watts, they'll never put NK as long as the four projects are still up because we'll be on their ass in Watts if they ever try to introduce those racial elements in Watts. We don't play that shit.
Sure. And they don't even know why. I feel you 100% when you saying they don't even know that we did pave the way for them to be over here. They don't know that, but we need to get that material to them so they do understand that.
An ADOS dude, there was an ADOS dude named Bill something, Bill the Icon.
All the dirty laundry. Anti-black violence conducted by Latino gangs in Los Angeles has been ongoing for more than a decade. As early as 1995, the Los Angeles Police Department report about Latino gang activity in the Normandale Park neighborhood declared this gang has been involved in an ongoing program to eradicate black citizens from the gang neighborhood. A 1996 LAPD report on gangs in East Los Angeles stated, local gangs will attack any black person that comes into the city. But while the Latino gang's racial terror campaign is not new, gang experts and law enforcement authorities say the intensity and frequency of anti-black terrorism is now escalating as the amount of turf in Los Angeles claimed by Latino gangs continues to increase rapidly. And as more and more blacks leave inner city LA for safer neighborhoods, those who remain are more vulnerable. The footage you're watching in the background is from Mother's Day 2014, when a man named Jose Lil Mo Saucedo and his fellow Big Hazard gang members smashed windows and threw Molotov cocktails into 4 apartments at Ramona Gardens, a heavily Hispanic housing project in Boyle Heights, east of downtown Los Angeles. 3 apartments housed African American families, including sleeping women and children, while the 4th held a Hispanic resident that the gang members targeted by mistake. Nobody was hurt. Saucedo played a primary role in the attacks, collecting glass bottles to be used as Molotov cocktails, supervising one of the 2 groups of co-conspirators, and throwing a firebomb into one of the targeted units. It was intended to drive African Americans from the Ramona Gardens housing development, a federally and city-funded housing development that is occupied primarily by Hispanic residents.
7 Los Angeles men were charged with firebombing African Americans living in a heavily Hispanic area in 2014. They were charged in a 10-count indictment unsealed in federal court Thursday. They were also charged for their roles in a racketeering enterprise that used violence and intimidation.
Yes, the Hazard Street Gang has been on law enforcement's radar since about the 1940s. They are described as a multi-generational Latino street gang that originated in East.
All right, I got another one for you. This is how they feel about us. And this is on Gunner's Collective page.
With gangs out in the streets, and all of a sudden, they're Crips. That's their main big gang, Crips. And they allow anybody into their gangs, whether they're snitches, whether they're weak, whether they're pressure cases, get stuff taken from them.
Not true.
Them, and that's a threat to them, but they don't realize that because I don't know why, but it's a threat to me, and it's a threat to the Mexicans. Because in jail, a lot of Mexicans are basically, they're labeled for doing all the underhanded things.
I didn't say Gunner was a Southsider. This is on his page.
The master, not to make it look good, but they're always having something going up their sleeves. That's what they think. And we get away with a lot of it because we trust each other. You know what I mean? and you can't trust outside ethnic groups and blacks. We don't trust them at all. That's probably the biggest rival here, Mexicans and blacks. Everyone that comes.
Hey, so when I start talking about these racially charged topics, it's not like I don't have the proof to back up what I'm saying about Sureños avidly hating blacks. They don't fuck with us. And when I say, if you dislike us so strongly and so passionately, why do you gravitate towards our culture? It's not me disrespecting them. It's me calling a ball, a strike a strike. But like the Puerto Rican brother said, whenever blacks address interminority racism or stand up or, acknowledge it, then we're racist. They try to turn it and flip it and start gaslighting and all that. But like I told you, we didn't initiate this war. We didn't start this war. We coexisted in communities where it was blacks and brown. But when the dudes in the late 70s all the way up to the mid 90s was balling out, with the cocaine, crack and all that, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Southern Hispanics saw how affluent individuals was becoming from participating in the distribution of street pharmaceuticals, and they became envious and they wanted that for themselves. When the blacks was wearing those thick gold chains and riding on all type of foreign whips and low lows from back side to side and jumping out looking like $1,000,000, that made them feel inferior. That made them feel insecure. So a lot of this shit, man, it boils down to jealousy and envy, man. And then some of this shit is traditional and cultural racism as well. I won't get into that. You got to do your own individual research and whatnot. But what I'm going to do before I end this live, man, I'm going to jump into some of these comments and see what's going on. But this ain't me just creating false narratives. This isn't me putting up any content for likes, subscriptions, for people to subscribe to my channel. And some of you all who have been rocking with me, since November, how many of y'all do I say, oh man, make sure you like, share, and subscribe? I don't say that. This ain't entertainment, man. This is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is to get the brothers to see exactly what's going on out west. This is the Warner Brothers of a potential threat that can come to your city, your community, that's going to affect your family and your kids in a negative fashion if you don't take the necessary precautions to start making amends with your brothers. Man, we've been beefing too long over bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Just like some of these gang wars started over females. That don't make no sense. Let's hold each other accountable. If my homie got a broken heart, man, I'm not about to give him an AK-47 and tell him, hey, yeah, man, go shoot at the dude who was fucking your old lady. Like, no. Let me give him a better understanding of why he feels so stressed and depressed. Because now the feeling that young lady was giving you was releasing certain chemicals in the brain like oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. But now that woman is absent, or now that her name and her image is associated with heartbreak, now your body is producing an abundance of cortisol. How do you reverse the effects of cortisol? By becoming proactive. Watching what you eat, getting out, exercising, so that the body can stop producing cortisol and start producing serotonin, oxytocin, what is the other one that I said? Dopamine. By working out. Have you ever worked out and then after you work out, you feel like so relieved, like you just want to lay down and go to sleep? It's just it's an amazing feeling. But if we don't teach our brothers about these things, then we're going to continue to make the same mistakes that we have been making for generations. It's not a generational curse that we're under. It's generational bad decision making. It's generational poor decision making. But I digress. I'm not trying to fan the flames of racism or none of that. You got a lot of people that think California is just this paradise until you come out here and you find yourself in the wrong place. You find yourself in a part of Los Angeles County or a part of Southern California to where it's a barrio or a barrio and they don't like blacks. Now your family is being shot at. Now your family is being targeted. And you wonder, like, what's going on? Because the news don't expose these racial elements that we're dealing with in Southern California with the Sureños who have adopted and embraced, certain philosophy from white supremacists. This is the truth. Let me get into these comments. And if it's anything that's derogatory towards the Sureños or Hispanics, I'm not gonna read that because that's not what I'm here to do. You know what I mean? This is education. It's not entertainment, and it's not to fan the flames of interminority racism. Hey, I got a question, Pimp Mike Jones. Hey, I told you to ask the question. Bobby A the truth, man. I'm just your brother that's just doing his part. What up, bro? Love from Texas. Love return. Facts. I'm from Austin. Much love to Austin. Hi. I see you. I see you as well. 2,500 bands. Sup, day one. Day one. What's the deal, Edie? Pizza rolling up Chicanos. Oh, pizza or PCs rolling up Chicanos off the yard in NNS. Okay. It must be noted in certain sections in the 80s and 90s, homies were terrorizing Hispanics in some hoods, constantly jacking their innocent fathers, grandfathers, etc. every time they were cashing their checks. Prove it. Prove it. And I appreciate you chiming in and saying that, but my grandmother, her purse was snatched by some Bonnie Hanawa's blood. So it wasn't about racism. It was about brothers, some of them started smoking the Primos. Some of them had developed these habits, these addictions, and they was robbing everybody. So let's not make it seem like they was solely and strictly robbing Hispanics. Mexicans, like, nah, homie, that's a false narrative. That's some bullshit, bro. But I appreciate you chiming in, Black. All right. That rarely got spoke on. Imagine them doing that to daddies, mamas, etc. Homie, they kill our mamas and daddies. What is you talking about? It's always gonna be a brother, somebody to look like us that's going, oh man, I mean, if you gonna come, man, come correct, man, and have your facts straight. Let's not make it seem like blacks was solely attacking and robbing Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinos solely because they was Mexican, Latinos, or Spanish. Like Hispanics, like that's some bullshit, man. Get your weird ass up out of here. Dylan Hernandez, hello. Mexico, I don't want to say no negative shit. All right. Gang enhancement. What up, OG? Happy Friday. G Money 949. Happy Friday, Kim folks. Much love to you and yours. Yusuf Muhammad, peace and blessings, King. Wow. Yusuf Muhammad, you need to know definition of race. Roger Troll. Yeah, Roger's a troll. Most don't know the real definition of racism or racist. Well, Black, how about you educate us? How about you seize this opportunity to educate us the difference between racism and racist? Educate us, please. Racism is the act of being a racist. And a racist is a person who engage in activities that are racial or racist racial. Racism is the act of it. A racist is the person. So racism it's either a verb, racism. It's an adjective. No, racist would be the adjective. And racism, I guess, would be the verb. Something like that. I don't know. But if you know, please enlighten us, Kim folks. Gunner's not a Southsider. I didn't say that. Gunner is a Norteño who's pushing this racist narrative of all that I saw coming together collectively to go against and oppose blacks. I feel like I don't want to say that. I feel like blank don't want peace because they want a revolving door of inmates for their numbers. I agree with you. Gunner and Dubs are Chomos, Axe, HSPPS, and Savage Studios. I'm going to look into that. Savage Studios, a real one, up top, Aki. Okay, for sure, Aki. I'm going to look into that. Savage broke bread with Hell's Game, Mob Ties Velo, 1090RR, Jet Woo. Lolo's came from Mexicans, my. Okay, listen. That can be debated, man, because if you want to be technical, man, the first person to really start cutting on cars was a white boy. The first person to start putting hydraulics on cars was a Caucasian. So what are you talking about? The culture was popularized by blacks. The culture was commercialized by blacks. But this is the thing. Mexicans has always rolled low and blacks used to ride high. If you look at some of the cars and trucks that Hispanics, Mexicans have today, they drop them real low. We don't do that. So when you talk about low riding, yes, you all did create low riding. dropping the car real low. But as far as putting hydraulics on it and jacking up and bouncing that thing, Caucasians created it, blacks gravitated towards it, commercialized it, and made it popular. So what are we talking about, man? Appreciate the message. We need more brothers serving these troops. Yeah, but it seems like these Southern Hispanics, man, these Sureños is getting offended, sending me death threats and talking about what they gonna do to me if they see me in Linwood at Plaza Mexico. Man, you better stand down, man. If you do see me, man, either greet me with respect or go the other way, man. Because why you want to take one of us away from our families, homie? Because of minor disagreement. And y'all wrong. Y'all initiated this negatively charged interaction between blacks and Hispanics, or Southern Hispanics, blacks and Sureños. Y'all initiated this. But when the motherfuckers start exposing the truth, y'all get offended. So if you ever do see me in Linwood or anywhere else, Plaza de Mexico, or the other shopping center over there with Taco Bell and Food for Less is at, man, go the other way, homie. Because I'm not playing, bro. And I stand on truth. So if you ever come playing with me and you got ill intentions and malice in your heart, man, you gonna take us from our families, homie, because I'm not letting nobody do nothing to me, bro. So why put me in a position, bro, to where I gotta leave my family? I love my family. I love my freedom. You should love your family. You should love your freedom. You should love your community. You should love your kids if you got kids. And leave me the fuck alone, because I ain't the one to be played with, cuz. Keep applying pressure to the savages. I ain't gonna call them that, but I hear what you're saying, Kim, folks. Chicanas will pay for a savage. White TS Pendletons, us, G. White tees, Pendletons, come on, homie. Just like, I guess, y'all started Zeus suiting and all that, right? Even Zeus suiters, going all the way back to the Zeus suiters, that was a style that they adopted, that they stole from Harlem, New York during the Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance and all that. Duke Ellington and all them, the oversized baggy suits with the big shoulders and the wide fedoras and all that, man, that came from blacks, Kim, folks. So what are we talking about? Pendletons, man, Crips was wearing Pendletons. Well, blacks was wearing Pendletons when they was working in the warehouses and all that in the 50s. They was wearing Pendletons. You got to understand, a lot of those lumberjack looking jackets and all that come all the way from the South, the Southern states. When we migrated out here and it was cold in Mississippi and it was cold in Texas and Arkansas and all that, and they was chopping trees and all that. So they wore those Pendletons to keep them warm. And then when Crips came into existence, Crips and Bloods adopted that and started wearing blue and red Pendletons and flannels and all that. So what is you talking about? Just like Nike Cortezes. Nike was popularized by African Americans before his Latinos even picked up on it, with Latinos out west. Before the Hispanics, before the Sureños picked up on wearing Nikes and all that, we had already popularized that. Blacks is the ones who took Nike and made that a $1 billion corporation. So what is you talking about? We was wearing All-Stars. Dr. J and all them wearing All-Stars back in the days. Now you all wear All-Stars. Everything that we do, everything that we wear, especially when we get off of it and it's not fashionable to us anymore, y'all hurry up and grab it. Like, come on, man. Loved one, our liberation is a must. Our liberation is most definitely a must, Kenfo. Lolo, the walls, holla at me. Woo, woo, woo. NS blank 25er, get the dogs on them. Hell in the cell, Hell's gang. We pushing peace. Most definitely we pushing peace, but we also have to be conscious and conscientious of what's going on out in, Southern California. It's a lot of people that want to come to Southern California, come to California on vacation, and then they find themselves in the wrong Airbnb and their cars being vandalized, and they're being forced up out of their Airbnb, and they've been targeted, victimized, and guns pulled on them, and called mayates, niggers, and all this type of shit. So we got to expose the truth of what's really going on, man. Interpersonal coping skills, critical thinking, accountability is very important with our people. I hear you. Shamik signing in. Ashe Mafalme and Dougal. Peace and blessings, Queen. Much respect to you. My niggas pushing, we ain't doing that, cuz we're not targeting innocent Hispanics. So like, we're not doing that. We ain't doing that. We not targeting and the individuals who are trying to make a living for themselves, that's pushing the carts and selling flowers and all that. Because if we return that same type of hostility and hatred, then we're no better than them. So we got to create a new narrative, but also hold them accountable. And then it's up to us to start unifying and start combating a rising level of interminority racism, hatred, and victimization of blacks. We got to unify. We got to strengthen ourselves, homie. We got to stop targeting each other. And in my community, I have been vocal for over the last 10 years about us putting together or putting aside our differences and unifying and getting back to that era of Black Panthers, of us being, working for the amelioration of our communities and upliftment of our community and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? They were in Pasadena in the 80s. Who was in Pasadena in the 80s? Cuz what inspires you to fight the good fight? People not or don't acknowledge you, but they definitely watching. And hey, listen, Ken, folks, that's been me all my life. I influence a lot of individuals, but they would never admit that they're influenced by me. But it's cool because for me, even when I was helping, when I was assisting in creating intervention and prevention components for gang intervention and prevention, a lot of people took my ideas, they stole them, they ran with them, but I don't care. You know what I mean? Because if God ordained for me to get the credit and get the acknowledgement, I get it. You get what I'm saying? What God has for me, no man can take, right? So for me, it's not about credit. It's about results. So if I got the idea, you can take it, run with it, make it manifest, and it positively affect the community. And hey, do your thing. Long as these babies is can reap the benefits of my idea. Long as these single mothers who are trying to navigate through this shit called life can reap the benefits of my ideas. Long as brothers is starting to think outside the box, then it's all good with me, man. I don't care about the credit. I care more about the results. Even on this channel right here, I don't tell people like and subscribe. Make sure you share. I don't do none of that, man. If it resonate, God bless you. Power to the people. If it don't, then it's all good. And what inspires me to fight the good fight? My trauma. Me growing up without a mother and a father and just trying to navigate through life. You feel what I'm saying? My awakening point came from reading I read Monster Cody book. And I was thinking like, man, what if all Crips got along? What if all Crips was cool? Then I'm like, man, you thinking small, man. What about if all blacks got along? Then I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, man, and my fire was lit. And also I had a teacher by the name of Jamiko Elder who instilled pride in me and taught me about my identity as a carbonated, melanated brother, as well as Mr. Jerome Johnson when I was in Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall. They showed me a different side of being a carbonated person outside of just cripping and blooding and targeting my people and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? So they been lit the fire and over time and just being fortunate to survive certain situations and all that, man. It's stuck. My phone is on 2%. It's about to die in a minute. Appreciate the heads up. Yeah, a brother from California told us a couple of things. Look out for, like the tattoos and jerseys with the 13. Most definitely. Just say Chicano, no more Mexican. Bro, I try to not say Mexican, and I try my best to say Southern Hispanics or Sureños. But thank you for the correction, though. It's early out west. It almost midnight in the Oklahoma or Orlando, wherever you from. It's all love. But I don't want this thing to just die on y'all, man. So enjema usiku to my endugos and endadas, and buenos noches to my canals and my canalitas. Hey, y'all have a blessed night, man. Much love. God bless.